Hey YouTube, Joe here with another knife overview, and I'm very happy to bring you the ZT0808 knife clone. And if you recall, I did the real 0808 about a month ago, and I gave that very high praise in that video. And the same goes for the clone. Now, I wish I had both of them side by side so I can go over it and neck and neck and check them out exactly, but unfortunately that knife has been returned because that was a loaner. But I have this one now, but had it for a few days. I've been going over my old video and I'm going to show you some things I've noticed, but I'm going to dispense with going over most of the stats on this because basically if you look at my old video and weight and length and all that, it's pretty much dead on. So I'm going to put the link to my old video of the actual knife in this video. I'll also put the actual stats of this knife in the description. So, but we're not going to really discuss it now, except for maybe one or two things. So let me just put the knife to the side for a second. This is the box it came in, which is very odd. I mean, they try to copy everything other times exactly, even the box and all. But it came in a plastic with the silicone patches, kind of like the Boker Plus, except without the magnet. Plain black box, nothing, no markings, and that's the way it came. So, let's get the box out of the way. So, let me show you the knife. And then we're going to go over some things that I feel I've noticed, the differences between the other. Again, I wish I had the other here so I could show you side by side, but first thing I'll tell you, let's do the cut test right off the bat. I have cut with it. Now off camera it was cutting great. Let's fade back a little bit. On camera, hopefully we get the same thing. As you can see, pretty sharp. Oop. I'm not doing well on that. Hold on. There you go. Trust me, this knife is sharp. We never got a chance to do a cut test on the other one because it was a loaner. So, let's show you around it a little bit. Oh, while we have it open. I'd say lockup is around 50, give or take. Centering, dead on like the original. There's the look. Same as the original, pocket clip, same styling. Does it flip good? You tell me. Sure does. Let's fade back a little bit. Let's try it again. Supposedly has the ball bearing just like the real thing. So let me go over some of the differences that I happen to notice. Now we're going to put anal mode on because this knife, as it stands, there's only a couple minutes into the overview. I'm telling you right now, this is a great offering for a clone. For a ZT0808. I got this from Aliexpress, around $66. I think there's a sale going on today. You could probably get it for the same knife for in the 50s, maybe 55. If I had known about that sale at the time I bought this, I probably would have waited and got it. And it's not any particular store on Ally. There's a big sale going on the website right now. I was going to do a video on it, but I decided not to. So if you're watching this and it's on the 11th, you're privy to that information. Definitely check it out. Alright, so turn anal mode on and let's go over some things I've noticed. Now, right off the bat, if you want, one thing I did is I played my video of the real one. So let's face it down a little bit. Of the real one versus this one, and looked over some things since we don't have them both to compare. The markings on the blade are a little bit different. I think the real one has the serial here, and if I can Get that to focus. There you go. Just a couple of markings. And the one thing that's I find very interesting, besides the fact that they, you know, as you've seen in other videos of mine with clones, that they copy it down to the T. The box was funny that they didn't do that, but yet, even though we always question what the actual blade steel is, the actual blade steel of the real one is S35VN. This one blatantly says, if I can get this damn camera to cooperate, I'm gonna buy myself a new camera for Christmas. It says D2, so I found that interesting. You could conceivably have wrote S35V on the blade to be exactly like the real thing, and then just wrote in the description when you're buying it that says it's D2 steel. So I find it odd that they did that. I'm going to use the famous magnifying. I want to say magnifying glass for a couple of anal things. Now that the D2 thing was not an anal thing, but let's see if I can show you. I mean, you're going to see some of these are totally ridiculous. But if you can see this, let's see, only the line on there, that square that comes around and goes like a heart and goes around, for some reason on the real one it doesn't do that. It just comes down and barely goes down around. And I told you this is going to be anal, so don't laugh. See that square? See how it makes like that hard turn, 90-degree angle, and then goes straight? On the real one it just goes down and just like barely around. This one it goes a little bit farther, so just a little etching difference. I mentioned the box. Now I noticed on the original one, I want to keep this clean. Let's go over it. This is mine, I bought it. On the real one you could blatantly see the grind marks on the blade. I mean, here you can a little bit, but it's not as prevalent as it is in the real one. Hopefully that's coming out. Here it's more smooth. One thing I noticed too, a little different with the lockup. Now I remember closing the other one being smooth, and this is smooth too. But the D10 ball, I noticed if you release the lock, you see how it grabs right there. So if you're not paying attention, and I did it once, and thank God I didn't cut my thumb again. If you're not paying attention and you release it, and you don't hold it for that extra half a second to get it past that detent ball, I found myself pushing this, and I did push it down, but I didn't push it down hard enough to hurt me to cut myself. So that ball is either maybe too big, or I don't know. But I do notice too that might have something to do with it. It shows, I mean, again, anal mode on. It swings around, even though it's probably around the same lockup as the real, but it swings around a little farther, and thus this is sticking out like that a little bit. I mean, I'm talking very minor. I mean, again, I don't have the other one in front of me to compare, but just minor. But this one is a major thing, because if you're like talking and you're not paying attention, and like you're like, oh yeah, check out my new knife, oh look at the clothes, and then you push this. If you don't hold it for that extra half a second, and it hits that ball, see, it's not going. So right there, you could easily push it down, and then it will release if with a little bit of pressure. But then you've already passed the point, and if you did it too hard, you've cut yourself. So you got to definitely remember to just hold it that extra second, and then you're fine. I don't remember the original one having that issue. What else? I mentioned that. Stupid thing again. I remember, if you could check out my video of the original, I was oohing and ahhing about how a mirror polish finish that this backspacer was. Now, yes, this one is also that way, but it's not as mirrored as the other one. I remember the other one being like, I mean, yeah, you can see my reflection in there, but the other one was like almost like an actual mirror. I mean, that's how shiny it was. Again, anal mode. Not a big deal, just trying to show you the differences. Let's see, we went over the markings of the blade. Another anal thing I noticed, the ZT is written darker on the original than it is on this one. Not a big deal. Also noticed the placement right out of the box of the clip. I don't know what the technical term is for this indentation is right here, but when you look at my video of the other one and say look at this one, you'll see that you could see this opening up here more than you can here. So I guess either this clip is up a little further, I don't know. But from what I could tell, the clip looks exactly the same. And let's see, steel I went over, the box, the grind marks, the D10 ball, this line, polish, and that's pretty much it. I mean, and that's really getting down to anal mode, and that's why I didn't want to go over this too much, because this is a fantastic knife. Do I recommend buying this knife? Considering that the real one, which I loved so much, was $200 and I was willing to pay that, this is $66 or on sale $56. It's definitely worth getting. This knife is beautiful, this knife is sharp, this knife looks very, very much like the actual thing. Before I close it out, let me just put it next to a few other knives to show you size comparison, and we can't have a video without the dollar. So there it is against the dollar. Let's put it in here. It is against the Kwaiken. I recently did a video. Let's fade back a little bit. There's the Kwaiken. What else can we do? One more. How about Kershaw Knockout? So, if you were considering buying an 0808 and $200 was too steep, I highly recommend this knife. This is a very, very nice loan. Probably going to, maybe by the end of the year or the early next year, I'm going to do like maybe my top 5 favorite clones that I bought. I can't say top 5 clones that I like, that I haven't bought, but the ones that I bought and gone over. Right now, I can almost tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is probably going to be on that list. I'd have to buy some serious good clones between now and the end of the year to push this one out to be number 6 or lower, because this is a really, really nice knife. Again, even though it does mention D2 steel, I can't vouch and say that it is, but for $66 you might think it could be. Show you that again. So there it is in the hand, and I mean, I'm sure someone else who's had both knives could probably go back to back and maybe find you maybe a few more things that I didn't find, but I'm going just by video and by what I recall what I did a month ago. This thing is pretty dead on, other than the few things I mentioned. So there you have it for its final shot. Let's zoom in. The ZT0808 knife clone. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed the video.